Tell us a bit about yourself, Steve. So you're not based in Leicestershire, are you?
No, I've got big ties to Leicestershire. My wife, who you'll meet in a little while, she's from Leicester. She went to school in Leicester, grew up there. I grew up in the Midlands and then moved to Liverpool quite a while ago. I'm on the south side of Liverpool. I'm married to Jane, who you'll meet, and you'll meet 4 of our 6 girls in a little while. You'll be seeing a little bit about how we're coping with lockdown as a family. So I'll leave some of those introductions for a little while, but it's just great to be with you guys, and hopefully we'll be successful in walking together, journeying together as families through all the things that bubble up through this thing called lockdown.
Great, Steve. Well, so you mentioned you've got 6 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just very briefly, how has lockdown been for you guys as a family?
You don't get to go behind the curtain yet. That's going to come up in a minute. We're going to deal with that in a little bit. We're going to be airing our dirty laundry, hopefully not too vividly, and we're going to be revealing about some of the great blessings and some of the challenges and how we walk well, journey through that together.
Great, Steve. Well, just to tell people again, they can go to the mgpl.org.uk website to download colouring sheets and a JPEG of a Bible verse that we're going to be looking at tonight. But Steve, I'm just going to hand over to you now. Take it away, fella.
Lovely. It's an absolute delight to be with you guys. Now, if you're thinking you're just merely going to watch, then don't even go there, okay? So what I'd like you to do is, first of all, take notes that if you're looking on YouTube or possibly Facebook, on the side of the screen, there is a message board, and please don't leave me hanging here. If you're a little person and you want to learn to type, now is your moment for glory, okay? What I'd like you to do is to let me know 2 things. What is your family that you're a part of? And second of all, what you're having for tea, okay? Can you manage that? Maybe you've had tea and you're sitting there going, oh, yeah, baby. Maybe you're smelling it cooking. Maybe you're really cross because we're not allowed to have tea until this has all been done with. So I'll speak fast. But what I'd like you to do is pop up on the side of the thing on the message board there. Just say what your family name is and what you're having for tea. Okay, so there's going to be lots of opportunity for interaction in just a little while. Can I plug again the fact that we have a handout colouring sheet with a Bible verse and a discussion question on which you can use as a family through the week. You need to go to the Midlands Gospel Partnership, Leicester. Oh, there it is. Isn't that good? There's modern technology. It's popped up. If you go there, we might even have a screenshot as to what it looks like. Do we have one of those? Every now and again, I'm going to shout Tony because Tony's the man who's making all this thing work. Tony, do we have one? If it pops up, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So click on there, and you need to try and bear in mind when you come back next week or next time, go there in advance. Oh, yeah, that's what the website looks like. You go there, and on somewhere on there's a little link to follow. There you go, colouring sheet. I tell you what, this is like spaceship level technology, and it's there. So you need to get your felt tip pens out. If you're on mum and dad's best couch, make sure you, I don't know, cover it with some sort of plastic, or make sure that you don't leave the lids off the pens. But see whether you can colour that. And what I'd like you to do is, when you've coloured your sheet, or, well, there's 2 things I'd like you to do. When you've coloured your sheet, would you get a picture? Because we have a WhatsApp account that we can use. And what we'd like to do is feature on here, our broadcast once a week, the work that you've been doing. In fact, in just a moment, the little banner across the bottom is going to change from a website to a phone number. Parents, get your phones at the ready. Normally, I'd say put them off and turn them away at this stage. But what I'd like you to do is take up your phone, and would you try and get a little selfie? Okay, I don't know quite how to angle it. There's my phone. Okay, little selfie of you and the family right now listening in. Maybe you're sitting around the table and eating your tea as you listen to this. Maybe you've had to drag one of the 17-year-olds down by the hair to get them to sit down, and they're just sitting there. And get a selfie. Get the photographic evidence, will you? And would you send in your selfie very quickly? So we might be able to feature it today, or we can make a little montage of everybody who's connecting in with us at one point or another, because I'd love to be able to see and know who I am talking to. So there's that. I'm going to ask Tony just to leave that set of numbers up there. Please respond. Don't leave me hanging. Don't leave me hanging. Otherwise, this whole thing won't quite work to plan. So what are we here to do? Well, we are journeying together through lockdown. We're trying to cope with it because Although we may feel like we're on lockdown, the Lord never is. And he wants to meet us right in the middle of what it is that we're facing. How do we do that together as a family? I'm already getting some nice little notes on the side. Thanks to you guys who are connecting in. Oh, wow, we've got quite a few there. Oh, you've got the Fisher family from up in Liverpool. We've got, oh, brilliant. Oglesby family. This is lovely. Potato pie! They've got potato pie, people! Oh, I'm so jealous. Anyway, where was I? We need to look at a Bible verse that's going to focus us as families together, and a wonderful treat that we have as people who know the Lord Jesus. So on the side of my screen now, we're going to see a Bible verse pop up. Can you see it there? Hear, O Lord, hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Do you understand the amazement of what that is? There is a living God who, in his Son, Jesus Christ, not only has made us and promised us his faithfulness, but has come to save and redeem us. He is the present Lord in power. Our God, the Lord, is one. In other words, he is the ultimate one, and there is only one of him, and he is the one who is with us. And the children of Israel needed to know that, because they were going to face things very similar to lockdown. They were going to face things that were going to leave them feeling unsettled. Maybe you've been scared. Maybe you've been worried. Maybe you've not been sure what this is all going to mean for you. Maybe you've just had to walk through a season of uncertainty and you've sort of gone on autopilot. Maybe you started off with good ambitions, but maybe through the process of that, then the fact that the Lord who is God, the Lord who is gracious, the Lord who is present with power and mercy and invites us to lean into him, he's sort of gone behind the clouds a little bit. Well, it's not that. It's we've the ones who've gone behind the clouds. And the reality is that we can believe that God exists, that he created us, but not even interact or connect to that in the slightest. Has that happened in your home? That would never happen in my home. Or maybe it would. So I went with a video camera, searching for evidence one way or another. And as you watch this little clip, ask yourself, where was the Lord in all of that? Let's see clip number 1. Hey Emily, how has lockdown gone for you? What's been good and what's been bad?
Well, good is that I don't have to go to school because I don't really like school that much. Bad is that it's a bit boring sometimes.
And what have you done to try to make it less boring?
Well, crafts. Watched a bit of TV.
A bit?
Yeah, okay, a lot of TV. Yeah. We did some schoolwork as well.
Did you see that? Was that a little bit like what you were facing? Been some good stuff, been some bad stuff, been some tricky stuff. But have you noticed who quite often doesn't get a mention because we sort of go on autopilot? Now, I haven't warned you about this. If you're a little youngster, I've been known in between video clips to change the layout of what you see behind me. So have a good look now. I'm going to give you 5 seconds before I play the next video clip, which again, we're looking for evidence as to whether or not we're living before the Lord, whether he gets a mention, whether he gets a feature, whether we turn to him. And I'm giving you 5 seconds now, because when you come back, there may be something that is a little bit different. Okay, are you ready? Let's meet 2 more of my family, looking for evidence that we may have left the Lord out when we think about all the challenges, all the emotions, all the worries, all the demands, all the ways of coping that we have in lockdown. Let's have a look at the video number 2. This is Lucy and this is Poppy. Lucy, tell us, how are you going to get through lockdown?
I'm going to be really, really nice to everyone and make sure I get all my lessons and homework done on time. I was going to learn how to braid my hair, and I was just, going to have regular showers. Nothing worked out.
Okay, brilliant. Poppy, how are you going to get through lockdown, and has it worked?
No, it hasn't worked. So I was going to do my bed every day, tidy my room every day, and do really good runs, and none of that worked out.
Well, some of it. You've run pretty fast.
Yeah, I have run pretty fast, but the tidying room and making my bed.
Cool. Let me ask you girls a question. How did you decide what was going to be the important way to get through lockdown?
Well, I mainly just went. I didn't mainly just went with the flow, you know. Just put up with whatever got hailed at me because I don't really get much of a say in it. So I can't really decide how the government's gonna act. So I just have to go with it. That's really what happened to me too. I had to go with the flow. I might not like it, but I dealt with it.
Brilliant. Now, whilst you have another look to see whether you've spotted what has changed in my background, did you hear there? They went with the flow, bless them, and they're only little youngsters. Maybe you do too. But so often in the midst of these kind of things, we worry too much, we control too much, we demand too much, we work to try to feel good about ourselves. We try and, when we're bored, just drift away. We escape too much. We regret too much. We run after God replacements. And in the midst of all of that, isn't it hard to remember his power, his presence, his wisdom, and his love? It's almost as if we are needy people who can't get through this thing without him. Yet we do something, and the clue to what we do is on my shelves. Have you spotted it? I wonder whether anybody's put anything up in the comments. There's a 20-30 second delay between me and the comments, so that's why I'm filling now. Type in quickly if you've spotted something different in the background right now that is a clue that tells you something of what we do, forgetting who is there, and find it very easy to forget who is there. We go on. Has anybody spotted it? I'm just checking my comments. Has anybody realised that what it is, that it's there? Nobody's popped anything up yet. Oh, no. I'm spotting that somebody's eating beans and somebody's got pizza and somebody else, veggie parcels. I don't even know what they are. Has anybody spotted what's popped up behind me? Let's have a look. I'll give you another 10 seconds. Otherwise, I flat out win. Have you spotted what it is? I wonder whether you can tell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Have you spotted? What have I got there? Oh, it's got wings. It's got a very funny schnoz. It's got, well, big eyes. What is it? It's a plane. We're like a plane. We go on autopilot. We just go and try and go with the flow, figure out, oh, orange car. That's very close, but it's an orange plane. Okay, there it is. There's the orange plane. And we go on autopilot and we leave the Lord out. And it's just the place where we slip and go to. An orange plane. Well, in Paul and the family, good on you. You spotted it. Have you done that at all? I had a conversation with another one of my daughters today, and she was so helpful and honest about the struggle that we all face that we wish we didn't. Let's hear from Amy on this. Amy, what's your whole approach to lockdown been?
Well, I don't think I've had an approach. I've just took the days as they came, kind of.
How's that gone for you?
All right, I guess. I've had ups and downs, and most ups. I'm kind of enjoying it, but not at the same time. Miss my friends. Yeah, that kind of thing.
And so, as you look back on lockdown, what would you say were high points? What would you say were anything that maybe you regret?
Well, I regret probably not doing enough work in the first couple of weeks. I didn't really do anything. I just sat around and kind of enjoyed time off, but then realised that this is going to go on for a long time, so then kind of got to get my head down. And I kind of have enjoyed spending time with my family. Kind of, sometimes, depends. Yeah.
So let me ask you one question, which is on our mind for this week. How easy is it for us to bring the Lord into how we approach the situations that come at us in life? Do you find that easy?
If I'm honest, I find it difficult by myself, but with the family that I'm in, then I feel influenced more to do that with my older sisters and then my mum and dad. But by myself, I really struggle.
Wow. Thanks ever so much, Amy. Well, to be honest with that, by myself, I really struggle. So there's loads of little tips as to how we can communicate better. There's loads of different ways that we can show love and mercy to one another in our families, and we can talk about that over the next couple of weeks. But the reality is, unless we start in this first place, which is, it's so easy, isn't it? You have this problem, I have this problem. We like to go on autopilot and leave the Lord out, and the Lord knows that, and that's why he gave us that Bible verse. Now let's see whether we can pop it up again and have a little look. Some of you are already colouring it in, aren't you? Because it's the last bit we're going to look at. We've got that little Bible verse that from Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verses 4 through to 7. Let's see whether it's going to come up. Is it going to come up? There it is again. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. He's the present Lord and he's with us. But so often we go on autopilot. So here's the call to us. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your with all your soul and with all your strength. And take these commandments, this reality of who the Lord is that he has given you today, and put that on your heart and impress it on your children. In other words, have it the currency, the thing that shapes all of our outlook. And how do we do that? We talk about that. When we sit, are you ready? When we sit, what's next? When we walk, when we lie down, and when we get up. I looked that up in the old version of the Bible. In the old version of the Bible with the these and the thous, it says, when we sitteth, when we walketh, when we riseth, and when we lieth. There you go. You try and remember that one if you can. There's the sense in which we're always going to struggle, and we're always going and forgetful before the Lord, and that doesn't make it easy. When we forget the Lord, we worry too much, we control too much, we demand too much, we regret too much, we escape too much. There's already some of you thinking it must be 5 o'clock somewhere. Where's that bottle of Chardonnay? And we demand God replacements to help us to feel safe in a world that is changing. And that happens to all of us. We're going to talk very briefly with my missus about that. I've asked her a few questions earlier and given her an opportunity to think about that. So you're going to see some of the little ones again. Let's just bring her in right now. Hey, there you go. I wonder, Tony, can we put me in the bottom corner? There we are. Okay. So we've just been talking a little bit about that. Give us a smile, Emily, Lucy, Poppy. Can you notice? I ought to point out to everybody it's Emily's birthday. Emily, give us a wave, will you, gorgeous? Hey, wait, I wasn't sure whether you were going to wave your broken arm. Jane, could you talk to us a little bit about this? We can worry too much, and it's very easy to leave the Lord out of things. How do you notice the difference about how you take things when it comes to a worrying thing, and times when you're leaving the Lord out, or times when you've got a better sense of who he is?
So I think that this whole lockdown thing has kind of like shown me how much I really like to be in control, and I like to have everything just so like at the start of lockdown I'd planned a timetable for the kids and everything and all these things that we were going to do, and then I just found myself getting really, really stressed when things aren't quite going the way that I think they should, and it's really shown me how much I how I feel depends on how much I've accomplished.
I'm guessing you're not the only kind of person who thinks like that, and quite often we measure ourselves and our potential in that way. But I suppose in those moments, our performance becomes bigger than the Lord's grace. What's happened? How do you notice a difference? What's the difference for you when you open yourself up again and start remembering that we've got one Lord who is present and close?
It's actually a couple of weeks ago, there was a really obvious moment where like the sermon that we had on Sunday morning was on about not trying to carry the weight of the world yourself, and the fact that that's the Lord's job to carry that, and actually just taking a step back, I really felt as a massive weight been lifted. But then the following morning I'm so quick to just take it all straight back on again, so it's something I just have to keep going back to the Lord about all the time.
And so what do you feel about the idea that we're on a journey, traveling, walking along, coming to know the Lord in the midst of some of these difficulties? How does that journey sound to you? Does it sound something exciting? Does it sound something you want to avoid? What do you girls think?
I think it is. It's okay, I guess. I'd rather do it in a different way than lockdown, than being cooped up in the house. But I still think it's good that I'm getting to know the Lord a bit more.
Brilliant. A little topic.
Yeah.
What does the idea of remembering the Lord and knowing him when you sitteth, when you walketh, when you riseth, and when you lieth down? What do you think about that? Do you think that that would help you through the day, and in what way?
Don't know really.
Do you know, that's absolutely fine, because that's why we put together in families. So if you guys are listening in on that, we could try to communicate to you that we've totally figured out how to walk closely with the Lord together through all of this stuff, but we haven't. But we know that it's a journey, and we know that he is faithful, and we know that he is with us. The question is will we try to make that a part of our journey together? And how will we respond when we failed and it's proved to be a bit difficult? Maybe you're at that point in lockdown where the drain has come on a little bit. I'm going to give you a discussion question around that in just a couple of minutes. But before we do that, I've found this great song on the internet that sings through some of these verses. And what I'd like you to try to do is every time, I've lost my family, not to worry. Every time you hear the sitting, walking, getting up, lying down, I'd like you to jump up and try and do it, okay? So parents, you may be eating your veggie beans, you may well be eating your pizza, but I'm afraid you've got to get active at this point. And kids, feel free to take a picture of your parents and WhatsApp that in if you like. So have a go at doing some of those actions that when those four things come up, the sitteth, the walketh, the lieth down, and the riseth, when they come up, do that action, okay? So you walketh, you sitteth, you lieth, you get up again, okay? Let's go with this song, it's great.
Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength, with all your strength. Hey!
Did you like that one? I hope you did. It's very lively. And so, what does it look like to be the Christian, to live the Christian life, and to do it together? We have to be those who are mutually encouraging us, one another, to walk before the Lord with all our problems. Do we worry too much? Do we take control too much? Do we take it out on people too much? Do we go to other things to be the comforter for our soul? Do we find God replacements? Do we clamor for control? Do we do those things? Is it that around our home? And my guess is that many of you would say yes, maybe if you're only little or if you're bigger, but there isn't a key, a silver bullet, or a book you can read that will fix that. But there is walking with the Lord. He makes a present difference because he knows our need, and by his Spirit he comes near to us, brings us comfort, redirection, strength, and we're going to have that at work in our family. And so as I was thinking about this, it occurred to me that those 4 things are great places. Those 4 places or things are great places to try to remember the Lord, his character, his power, his presence, his reality, that our coping with lockdown may first and foremost be a way in which we press deeper together to walking and journeying through whatever comes at us with the Lord. So take those 4 things. Are you ready? Where is it that you sitteth? Where do you sit? How is it that within your family life you may be able to remember the Lord and to turn towards him and seek his strength and grace when you sit? How about when you walk? Where do you travel together? Maybe you've wandered out as a family into the park through lockdown. That's great, isn't it? Maybe you've got a journey to visit somebody. Maybe you just have to go somewhere with the schools opening up, and along the way you can talk and say, who is the Lord to us today? How do we need him for whatever it is that we're facing? How are our emotions feeling? What am I trying to take control of? What has my temperament revealed about who I'm trusting and what I really want? Maybe it is that when you lieth down, whether for a nap or going to bed or getting up in the morning, you just need to put on some Christian music and then share with one another one blessing out the words of that song. So I'm going to give you a moment just to think on that together. You guys need to figure out how you're going to do it in your family, just as we do in ours. So I've got you a 3-minute countdown. Are you ready? A 3-minute countdown. And by the way, I should say as well, if you haven't already, throw in one of them sneaky WhatsApps. We've got a couple of pictures we can throw up in a minute. If you're going to put us in a little selfie of you eating your fish pie or your tuna pasta bake or getting ready, or if there's a little selfie of your tummy rumbling, we'd love to see that as well. So maybe throw that up in a minute. Put that up on the WhatsApp. You've got the number just there. But here comes the countdown. Here's the question. It's on the bottom of the sheet. It's going to be on the page here. Sit together as a family. Maybe mum's about to head off to do a shift. Maybe dad's just got in from work. Maybe one of you is worrying about submitting an online essay. I'm not sure. But use this moment to have a little chat together. How is it that we've left the Lord out? And how are we going to help each other to remember the Lord as we sit, as we walk, as we lie down, as we get up? Go to it. 3 minutes. Hey everybody, well done for having a go at that, because I don't know about you, but I find that hard. Because if it was easy, we'd have figured it out by now. Have you noticed that? And sometimes we don't give ourselves a break, but the Lord knows, and the Lord speaks in his word, and he speaks with a voice that says, I know the struggles and the difficulties. I know how hard it is to remember me and walk before me in a world that calls you in all of the different places. So whether you think right now, as you've had that little chat, you think, oh, this isn't worth it, or you think, I know I'm going to fail, that doesn't matter, because we can come before the Lord and we can pray and we can ask his help. We know far too many times that we've just had thoughts that have had no connection to him whatsoever. We've spoken words that don't reflect the fact that he is present or real. We've pursued after things that deny and even belittle him. And Christ came to cover us and call us near. He is the one God, the Lord and the King. And we're going to speak to him and ask his help in the midst of this. We're going to admit our vulnerability. We're going to say that so often we don't care enough. And we're going to cry out and say, each one of us who are sitting in our family now, we all have the same need and we have the same struggle, but we've got the same Lord. But before we do that, I'd like us to have a little look at some of the WhatsApp pics. Some of you guys have sent something in. I'm hoping that a couple of them at the very least may pop up. And if you haven't sent them in, oh, there we go. Oh, look at you guys. Oh, they're pretending to be happy. I wonder whether they've had their tea or not. Oh, I haven't got a name for the family. That's frustrating. I'd love it. Maybe that's Paul. I'm not sure. I'm guessing. Who knows? Have we got any other WhatsApp pictures? Oh, we've got down there. Oh, that looks like a cool house to be in. That looks like an awful lot of fun. Oh, that looks like a lot of trouble as well. Oh, you guys, you're so welcome. I'm so glad you joined in with us. Did we have any others, Tony? Maybe we did. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Oh, we've got the Crones from up here in Liverpool. There's Michael and Andrew and long-suffering Mel. You guys are very welcome with us. I'm not sure if we've got any more. I wouldn't be surprised if this week people are a bit nervous and a bit tentative. I think that's our lot for tonight. But what we'd like you to do is, in a minute, right when we finish, I'd like you to take a quick picture of the kids' colouring sheets or a selfie of what you've been doing, or maybe you've got a bit of a video of doing some of those actions to that song. That would be absolutely great. But the most important thing is, wherever you're up to, whether you're about to finish your tea or you're about to start your tea, we're going to have to ask the Lord to help us, because this struggle isn't going away and our need isn't going away and his willingness isn't going away. Would you please bow your heads with me and pray? Lord, I want to thank you for every family that has connected into this, and I want to thank you for every family that will look in on this at some point through the week. And we want to thank and praise you that once again your word has beckoned us to come to you. Lord, we praise you that you're the one Lord, and that to know you and to love you and to walk and journey with you is the greatest privilege in life. And through this strange lockdown period, sometimes we've done that, and other times we've got on autopilot. We've thought things that were ridiculous. We've followed our own ambitions. We've lived as if the things of this world will satisfy. And we have been cruel and mean to other people. And yet we praise you that Jesus Christ has come. He has covered our sin. He has paid our debt. And he offers us the present Lord by his Spirit to work in us that we may walk humbly before him. So I pray for every single family here, particularly those who feel as if they've failed. I pray that you'd encourage them of your love, tell them of the new beginnings in Jesus, and strengthen them in this journey and along this battle. Help us all, Lord, to be those who know you and face what comes at us with a knowledge that you are bigger than anything, that you are for us, and that your love will never end. I thank you for every little child, some of whom know your love and some of whom aren't quite sure. Please would you help them to know your grace, that you are the one Lord who is full of grace and mercy. Thank you for this technology that allows us to do this, and bless us the rest of our evening. For we ask in Jesus' wonderful name. And everybody said, Amen. Did you just say amen? Did you just join with me? I certainly hope you did. Listen, leave a couple of comments along the side when you choose to leave. We've gone slightly over and we'll try and fix that for next time. We were going to sing a sort of worship song together, because whenever we gather and whenever we want to see the Lord, it has to end in worship. But instead, what I'll do is I'll just leave that playing in the background if you want to let that one play out while you wrap up and finish. This will be the last that you hear of me and us for this week. If this week has been journeying through lockdown, knowing the Lord, next week we're going to look at journeying through lockdown, knowing our own hearts before the Lord. We're going to learn about ourselves. So come and join us next week. Send in your WhatsApps, send in your messages. May the Lord bless you. We're out and you guys are dismissed. Enjoy this last song.
Psalm 95, 1 through 4.
Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all gods. In his hand are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all God. In his hand are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout